Greetings, pen pals. I have an unboxing video for you here today. We have a Sailor Compass. This is a brand new pen from Sailor, and a fairly inexpensive $39 pen from Sailor. Comes in a whole bunch of colors, etc. Brand new pen, just got it. Obviously, haven't even touched it yet. Just going to unbox it in front of you guys here. Comes in a pretty nice box, so it's a cardboard box with this plastic sleeve on the top. It says Sailor Compass Series. It says here on the end, it says 1911 steel fountain pen, yellow, transparent, silver, and MF, medium fine. It was only available in one nib size. And as you can see, it does come with a converter. And the converter, the handle, the little twist knob on the converter is color matching. So it's not like they're all yellow. They match the color to the converter. You buy a blue one, you get a blue one. You buy a red one, you get a red one. That's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So we're going to slip the plastic sleeve right off. We're going to take this out. So you got a converter right here. You got what appears to be two Sailor cartridges. Sailor uses proprietary cartridges and proprietary converters. So it's very nice that this comes, for an inexpensive pen, that it comes with a converter, because that can really add up the price of the pen quite a bit. We have some instructions. We have the pen itself all nestled up in some plastic. So this is what we got. Set the box aside. Let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at our goodies here. So in terms of the instructions, doesn't look like anything super significant here. They are in English on one side, I guess. Yeah. So this is for all Sailor pens. They got ballpoint, fountain pen. This is sort of a generic instruction sheet in English and in Japanese. So nothing earth-shattering there, etc. So there we go. Then, like I said, we have two Sailor proprietary cartridges. We'll set those aside. We have the pen and we have the converter. So let's unwrap our pen. And is this a sealless box? This is sealed. So we're going to need to cut this open. Let's do that carefully. And see what we got. All right. So this is a pretty nice looking pen. I love what they did with the color. This is really just a beautiful color. I immediately, when I saw the colors that were available, I was drawn to the yellow one, and that's why I picked it up. So let's. It does feel pretty light. We'll get a weight on it, and I'll put that on the screen in post-production, and I'll do that right here. Okay. Size-wise, let's size it up. So here's our new pen. This is our new Sailor Compass. And here it is compared to a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Metropolitan. And it is pretty much right in line with these guys. Here's a Sailor 1911 large. It is smaller. Well, let's see. Actually, no. I said it was right in line. I was misspeaking, actually. So, all right. So this is a bit shorter than the Safari and the Metropolitan, but just by a bit. And it is also a bit shorter than the 1911 large. So it's a little bit on the short side. I won't call it a short pen by any means, but it's a little bit just short of a typical size pen. And let's see what we got here on the around the cap band. It says Sailor, made in Japan. Very nice. We have a typical Sailor looking clip. Seems quite serviceable. Style-wise, it's similar to what's on the 1911 large stylistically, but you can see it's sort of a, I guess, downgraded version of that clip. I like the white metal against the, I guess, rhodium plating against the yellow. Looks very, very nice. The finial, okay, I could see right away it's got a plug on the end here, so you wouldn't want to be eyedroppering this. That's a little unfortunate, but I can see the way this is made. This is not going to be conducive to eyedroppering. Has a nice little looking little finial on the end. So it's a screw to uncap. It takes, let's see, two turns to open. This does feel short to me unposted, so I'm going to definitely be posting this, and it seems to post just fine. Just fine. Oh, it has a clear feed. Look at that. That looks nice. I like that. That's going to pick up the ink color really nicely. And in case you're wondering about ink, I actually picked up a bottle of this new Sailor Studio ink. It's from a whole new product line from Sailor. I got the 770, which is this nice yellow color to match this. So I'm going to guess that this feed is going to pick up that yellow color quite nicely. So we'll see that shortly when I ink it up for you folks. There we go. Does the section unscrew? Yes, it does. So cleaning this should be quite a simple matter. So that's pretty nice. Let's take a look at the nib. We're dealing with a steel nib that simply says Sailor. Oh no, it doesn't say Sailor. It's got the Sailor Anchor logo, and it has an MF for medium fine. That's the way they described it. So we'll see what medium fine looks like in this world. Let me say this right off the bat. This is clearly not an expensive looking pen. It doesn't feel like an expensive pen. If this wasn't a Sailor branded pen, you would never think this was worth $39. So that's part of what you're buying, I guess, is a little bit of the brand affinity. We'll reserve full judgment when the writing comes in, but there are $2 Chinese-made pens that are roughly equivalent build quality to this pen. So you really need to think about it. But this is, like I said, this is a Sailor. It is a genuine Sailor pen made by Sailor. So there's no doubt about that. But we're definitely talking about a low-end Sailor pen. But part of what you're buying is the association with what is generally a fairly high-end brand of pen. Let's put the converter in now. We got to open up this little package that the converter comes in. This is actually quite nicely packaged, I have to say. Has directions for putting the converter in, which I think should be pretty easy. And can we get this open without totally mangling the package? Oh yeah, we can. Okay. There we go. There we go. Let's take a look at this converter. All right, this is sort of this is a cheap soft plastic converter, but it is it's not a squeeze converter or anything like that. So you got a little piston here, etc. Again, this doesn't exude sort of high-end, give off a high-end vibe to it by any means. But we're talking, it is a Sailor branded product. It has Sailor on it. I really like the fact that the converter and the pen match up. That just is super, super nice. And we will unscrew that. We will push that on. Let's see how that goes on. That goes on fairly well. I'm happy with that. And let's see how the whole thing looks. And looks pretty good. I'm liking the vibe it gives off. Shame about this. I would have loved to be able to eyedrop with this pen. That would have been really nice. But this plug business at the end is going to preclude that, which is kind of a shame. Because this looks like it would eyedrop her quite nicely. So far, that's my only significant complaint. Now, let's ink this up. And like I said, I got this nice new Sailor Studio line. It's 100 different colors that they make. And this was the yellow one. 770 is the yellow. Now, this may be too light to really be useful, but I just couldn't resist the yellow ink. It's a 20 milliliter bottle. Comes got a little box. The ink even has, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is a nice feature. So they give you these stickers that you could put on your the theory is you put the sticker on the converter to remind you which ink is in the pen. It's kind of a nice little feature. I'm probably not going to use that, but I thought that was pretty nice. And here's our bottle. Nice looking bottle, if basic, but a nice looking bottle. Kind of reminds me of a miniature version of the Pelikan Edelstein bottles. It's kind of exactly what it is, frankly, but pretty nice. Or the bottles that Nemosine inks come in, also a small, slightly smaller version of that. But this would look nice on a desk. Not bad at all. So let's open this up and ink up our pen right here. And let's see how that works. Well, it does seem to be drawing up ink quite nicely. We'll do that our traditional 3 times. And that seems to be going pretty well. We'll expel 3 drops for tradition's sake. So this filled well, etc. So no complaints there at all. And I'm just going to wipe this up, and we will be back to do a writing sample. Okay, before we do the writing sample, let's take a look at how the feed picked up that yellow ink color as I suspected. So I think that looks quite nice. Now, of course, if you had a very dark ink, it's probably just going to make the feed look black. But with this light ink, that really looks great. So nice. And you can see it going all the way from the tip. You can see it going all the way into the collector part of the feed in there. You can see the ink color in the converter. Visually, this all really works quite nicely. Pretty nice. Okay, so what we are writing with here is a Sailor compass. And this has a steel nib and in what they call medium fine. Now, I guess this is some Sailor / Japanese version of medium fine, because this is, there's nothing medium about this. So this is a fine bordering on an extra fine, as far as I'm concerned. But I will say the following. It is smooth. It really seems to flow quite nicely. In terms of wetness, I'd say it's just about average. It sort of occupies that sweet spot between not too wet and not too dry. But this does write very well. So from a quality perspective, this is quite good. So I would say this is, I would say I'm going to give this a on quality. For what it is, right? Obviously, this is not a 1911 large with a 21 karat gold nib. I mean, that's not what we have here. But I'm going to give it an A on quality, and I'm going to give it a B- on value. So I think it's a very good quality. I just think this is really pushing the edge of what it's worth for the money. Now, like I said, you are getting the converter and all that, which is not typical with, say, a Sailor pen and stuff like that. But I just, you could get it obviously if you wanted to get a non-marquee brand Chinese-made pen, you could get something at 1/10 the price or less. You are definitely paying for the brand on it, which is fine. That's not a problem. Frankly, you're paying for the brand on this 1911 large as well. So that's part of the deal with fountain pens. I am happy with this pen. I don't regret this purchase. I would buy it again. This is a nice pen and writes well. I have no complaints. I think it was packaged well. I think it's very giftable, given the way it's packaged, etc. Speaking of giftable, a bit of a gift you could give to me would be if you all liked, shared, commented, and subscribed. That would be outstanding if you could do all of those things, and would be much, much appreciated. So I don't have too much more to say about this Sailor Compass, a new pen from Sailor, new addition to the line. They're not breaking any ground here, right? Or maybe they're breaking ground for them in terms of a pen at this price point. We're basically talking about a cigar-shaped pen with a steel nib. I think they're doing a couple of things that are a little bit unique, like I think the matching converter, very nice, very, very nice. I think that's going to be the selling point almost for this pen. I think the clear feed, while certainly you can get lots of pens with clear feeds, that's not unique, but I think that really adds a little something to the pen. So they are adding a couple little things here. If it was even $1 or $2 more, I think that would really knock it out of the being viable. So I think they're at absolutely the maximum price point for this. But again, I think it's a nice entry from Sailor, and I think they did. I think they did well. I'm generally genuinely happy with it. So in addition to this pen being new, the whole line of inks that they introduced is new. This whole Sailor Studio line. So let's talk about this ink now for a moment, now, shall we? Okay, folks. So this ink is Sailor Studio number 770. So what are we looking at here? You're looking at a yellow ink, but this is pretty visible for a yellow ink, I have to say. So it is obviously quite light, so this is not going to be suitable for all purposes. How light is it? Let's do a little comparison here to another ink that is very often called a very light ink. So here's our Sailor Studio 770, and here is Noodler's Apache Sunset. As you can see, so Apache Sunset, which is very often considered a light ink, is still quite a bit darker than this ink. So, but I have to say, this ink is still pretty visible. So I don't have a readability problem with this ink at all. You certainly wouldn't want it any lighter, but it's a pretty color. It goes obviously fantastic with this pen. So if matching up the pen and the ink is a consideration at all to you, this is a really good matchup. And I'm quite pleased with this. Nice ink. Doesn't do much in terms of shading or color variation, like Apache Sunset does. Apache Sunset's obviously sort of the king of shading inks. You're not getting that here, but it's all in all, in general, a pretty nice ink. This is what it looks like on Tomoe. I'm sorry, on Rhodia paper. But let's take a quick look at what it looks like on Tomoe River paper. Okay, as we said before, this is Sailor Studio number 770, and this is what it looks like on Tomoe River paper. So not that different than the Rhodia, because like I said, not normally this is where the shading and the shimmer and the sheen would come out, but you don't really have that here with this ink. But it's just a nice ink, and again, it's a nice readable yellow, which they're a little bit hard to come by, to be honest with you. So, at any rate, I think that'll just about do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, because I certainly enjoyed making it. And as always, until we see each other again, have a great day. Bye-bye.